Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ESL-Easy English, the podcast that makes learning English a breeze. I'm your host, James, and today we have a very special guest joining us. She's an English teacher with years of experience helping students just like you master the English language. Please welcome Alison.
Hi, James. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, Alison. Today we're going to dive into a fundamental but incredibly important English grammar topic, the present simple tense. Alison, for our listeners who might be new to this, can you give us a simple definition of what the present simple is?
Absolutely, James. The present simple tense is used to talk about things that are true in general or things that happen regularly. It's about facts, habits, routines, and general truths. Think of it as the everyday tense.
Everyday tense, I like that. So, it's not for things happening right now like I am speaking?
Exactly. For things happening right now, we usually use the present continuous tense. The present simple is for things that are not necessarily happening at this very moment, but are generally true or happen repeatedly.
That's a great distinction. Let's start with the basics of how we form it. For most verbs, what's the rule, Alison?
For most verbs, with the subjects I, you, we, and they, we just use the base form of the verb. So if the verb is to play, we say I play, you play, we play, they play. Easy enough, right?
Very easy. So, I eat breakfast every morning. They work in an office. We live in London. All straightforward.
Precisely. Now, the slight change comes with the subjects he, she, and it. For these subjects, we usually add an S to the end of the verb. So, he plays, she plays, it plays.
Ah, the famous as ending for the third person singular. This is where many learners stumble. Can you give us some examples with he, she, and it?
Of course, if I say he likes pizza, that's correct. She reads a book every night. And for it, let's say the sun rises in the east.
The sun rises in the east. That's a perfect example of a general truth. So the rule is base form for I, you, we, they, and add as for he, she, it.
That's the general rule. Now, there are a few spelling variations for verbs ending in certain letters. For example, verbs ending in ch, sh, sx, or o usually take an es ending instead of just s.
Interesting. So, what would be an example of that?
For example, the verb to watch. With he, she, or it becomes he watches, she watches, it watches.
Ah, so it sounds like watches. That makes sense. What about to kiss?
He kisses, she kisses, it kisses, and to go? He goes, she goes, it goes.
Okay, so watches, kisses, goes. That's helpful. What about verbs ending in a consonant followed by y?
Good question. For those verbs, we change the y to an I and add es. For example, the verb to study. With he, she, or it becomes he studies, she studies, it studies.
So study becomes studies. And to cry?
He cries, she cries, it cries.
That's a clear rule. And just to be sure, if it's a vowel followed by y, we just add s?
Exactly. Like to play. We already said he plays. He stays, she stays, it stays.
Excellent. So, to recap the positive form, base verb for I, you, we, they. Add s for he, she, it. with some spelling adjustments for verbs ending in ch, sh, sx, o. Add es, and consonant plus y. Change y to I and add es.
You've got it. Now let's move on to the negative form. How do we make sentences negative in the present simple?
This is where the auxiliary verb do comes into play, isn't it?
It is. For I, you, we, and they, we use do not, or the contraction don't, followed by the base form of the verb.
So if the positive is I like coffee, the negative is I don't like coffee.
Exactly. Or they don't understand. We don't live there.
And what about he, she, and it?
For he, she, and it, we use does not or the contraction doesn't, followed by the base form of the verb. Notice that the S from the positive form is now on does.
So the S moves from the main verb to do. That's a crucial point. So he likes pizza becomes he doesn't like pizza. The likes becomes like.
Precisely. She reads a book becomes she doesn't read a book. It goes fast becomes it doesn't go fast.
This is very clear. The S or ES ending is only in the positive statement for he, she, it. In negatives and questions, it moves to do, does.
That's the key takeaway. Now let's talk about questions. How do we ask questions in the present simple?
Similar to the negative, we use the auxiliary verb do or does. For I, you, we, and they, we start the question with do.
Yes. So a question like, do you speak English, uses do at the beginning, followed by the subject, and then the base form of the verb.
And the answer can be a short one, like yes, I do, or no, I don't.
Exactly. Other examples. Do they live here? Do we need to go?
And for he, she, and it,
We use does at the beginning of the question. Again, the S moves to does. So instead of does he likes pizza, it's does he like pizza?
that's the common mistake. So, does she read books and does it work?
Perfect examples. And the short answers would be yes, he does. No, she doesn't. Yes, it does.
So, to summarize, positive statements, base verb or verb plus S, ES. Negative statements, don't, doesn't, plus base verb. Questions, do, does, plus subject, plus base verb.
You've got it. Now, let's talk about when we use the present simple. We mentioned habits and routines. Can you give us some examples of those, James?
Sure, habits and routines are things we do regularly, so I wake up at 7 a.m. every day. That's a daily routine. She always drinks tea in the afternoon. That's a habit.
Great. What about general truths or facts?
We touched on that with the sun rises in the east. Other examples, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Cats like milk. The earth revolves around the sun. These are things that are always true.
Excellent. We also use it for states, like feelings, opinions, and possessions. Verbs like, love, hate, want, need, know, believe, have, when it means possession. So, I have a car, not I am having a car. Unless you mean you're borrowing one temporarily. She knows the answer. They believe in ghosts.
Exactly. These are generally permanent states. Now, something that often confuses learners is the difference between present simple and present continuous. Can you explain that again, Alison?
Of course. The present simple is for repeated actions, habits, routines, general truths, and states. The present continuous is for actions happening now, at the moment of speaking, or around the present time. It's also used for temporary situations and future arrangements.
So if I say I play tennis every Saturday, that's present simple, a routine.
Right. But if you say, I am playing tennis right now, that's present continuous, indicating the action is happening at this moment.
And he works in a bank, present simple, means that's his regular job. But he is working on a new project this month. Present continuous means it's a temporary situation.
Perfect. Another common use of the present simple is for schedules and timetables.
Like the train leaves at 8 p.m. or the movie starts at 7:30.
Yes, even though it refers to a future event, we use the present simple because it's a fixed schedule. What time does the bus arrive?
So, for future events that are part of a schedule, we use present simple. This is important.
It is. Let's try some practice sentences. Imagine you want to tell me about your morning routine. What would you say using the present simple?
Okay, my morning routine. I wake up early, I drink a cup of coffee, I read the news online, then I go for a walk.
That's great. Now imagine you're talking about a friend. Let's call her Sarah. How would you describe her morning routine using the present simple?
Sarah. She wakes up a bit later than me. She eats breakfast. She checks her emails.
Excellent. You remembered to add the S to wakes, eats, and checks. Now let's try a negative sentence about a habit.
Okay, I don't smoke.
Good. Now about Sarah. She doesn't drink coffee in the morning. She drinks tea.
Perfect. You correctly used doesn't and kept the verb in the base form. Now a question.
Let's ask about a routine. Do you exercise regularly?
And a question about Sarah. Does she like to cook?
And the answer would be yes, she does, or no, she doesn't.
Right. Let's try a general truth. The moon orbits the earth.
Good. Now, a state. I understand the difference now.
And about Sarah. She knows the answer.
Very good. Let's try a schedule. The shop opens at 9 a.m.
And when does the conference begin?
Exactly. See how we use the present simple for these scheduled events? It's about the fixed plan.
This is really sinking in. I think the key is to remember the S for he, she, it in positive statements, and the use of do or does for negatives and questions, always with the base verb. And the different uses, routines, facts, states, and schedules.
You've summarized it perfectly, James. It's a tense that's used so frequently in everyday English. Mastering it will unlock a lot of communication.
Let's consider some common adverbs of frequency that often go with the present simple, like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Where do they go in a sentence?
They usually go before the main verb, but after the verb to be.
So, I always drink coffee, or she often reads books.
Yes, but if the verb is to be, it's different. For example, I am usually tired in the morning. He is always late.
Ah, so to be is the exception. Before the main verb for other verbs, after to be.
Exactly. And with never, it makes the sentence negative in meaning, but we still use the positive form of the verb. For example, I never eat meat. We don't say I don't never eat meat.
That's a good point. Never already implies negation, so she never misses a class.
Correct. What about rarely or seldom?
Those mean almost never, so he rarely goes out. They seldom complain.
Yes. And sometimes can often go at the beginning or end of the sentence too. Sometimes I go for a walk, or I go for a walk sometimes.
That offers more flexibility. So, adverbs of frequency are a great way to add detail about how often we do things using the present simple.
They really are. Let's do a quick review of the main uses. 1. Habits and routines. Things we do regularly, like I brush my teeth twice a day. 2. General truths and facts. Things that are always true, like the sky is blue. 3. States. Feelings, opinions, beliefs, possessions, like she likes music. He owns a car. 4. Schedules and timetables for future events that are fixed, like the flight departs at 10 a.m.
And the formation, positive, I, you, we, they, plus base verb. He, she, it plus verb plus s or es. Negative, I, you, we, they, plus don't plus base verb. He, she, it plus doesn't plus base verb. Question, do plus I, you, we, they plus base verb. Does plus he, she, it plus base verb.
Perfect summary, James. It covers all the essential points. Remember, practice is key. Try to use the present simple in your everyday conversations, writing, and even when you're thinking in English.
That's excellent advice, Alison. I feel much more confident about the present simple now. Thank you so much for breaking it down so clearly for us and our listeners.
My pleasure, James. It was fun. I hope our listeners found it helpful too.
I'm sure they did. So, that's all the time we have for today on ESL Easy English. A big thank you again to our wonderful guest, Alison. And please like and subscribe if you found the podcast helpful.
Thank you for having me. And please leave a comment. We really enjoy the feedback.
And thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time for more easy English. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.